In this video, I'll give you the safest quarterbacks to target in 2024 fantasy redraft leagues. I'm Jim Coventry of Rotowire. Look, in terms of safe, Jalen Hurts is nearly as safe as they come. First of all, he's still young, and there's a big deal here. Running quarterbacks tend to lose some of their rushing upside as they age. Hurts is not there yet. And in the last 3 years, Hurts has between 605 and 784 rushing yards and double-digit rushing touchdowns each season. That's not going away. Saquon Barkley in the backfield certainly helps. Hurts had 605 yards on the ground last year, but remember, he was dealing with a knee injury, and he still did that. So those days of 750-plus rushing yards should come right back, just so dynamic on the ground. Also, the passing game. Look, Hurts had a great passing year 2 years ago. Here's what I like this year. The Eagles' defense still projects to be problematic. The spine of that defense is likely to have issues. They're likely to have to score points in shootouts in many games. And Kellen Moore coming in to run the offense is a great opportunity. Last year, whether it was head coach Nick Sirianni or offensive coordinator Brian Johnson, once defenses made a mid-season adjustment to put a shell over the top, they had no answers. Kellen Moore will have answers. He'll start with a downfield passing attack, which Hurts loves, but he'll also design a lot of variety underneath. Even Saquon Barkley will be used dynamically as a receiver based on what we're hearing out of training camp. So Jalen Hurts, look, spend the hype ticket if you're going to go that route. And if you do, Jalen Hurts is very safe. A little bit later, not that much in drafts, Lamar Jackson is very safe. Lamar Jackson, an elite runner. Now listen to this. Jackson has between 764 and 821 rushing yards in the last 3 seasons. But in 2 of those seasons, he only played 12 games. Those were literally 1,000-yard paces. And I know Derrick Henry's there. There is enough room for both to eat. Now remember, the Ravens defensively, they've had great defenses. They lost a few key players. They lost their incredible coach, Mike McDonald. If that defense, as I believe, will take a little bit of a step back, the Ravens are going to have to score some points as well. And what I like with the Ravens is Todd Monken runs the offense. And from week 12 on last year, we saw things start to come together. Monken is going to add more to that offense this year. So Lamar Jackson, who had a very solid passing season, 3,678 yards and 24 touchdowns in 16 games, that could be on an upward trajectory as well. This offense could be much better than we expect. And Derrick Henry's going to run for yardage. There's no doubt. But again, there is room for both. Dynamic running from Jackson, power running from Henry. Look for it to continue. Jackson is super safe. If you enjoy videos like this, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe to the Rotowire Fantasy Football channel on YouTube. Also, you can check out all of our fantasy football content and rankings by getting a free 2-day trial with no credit card needed. Yeah, just head on over to rotowire.com/Jim to see all of our content. The next quarterback who's very safe outside the top 12 in most drafts, Jared Goff. Jared Goff has 29 or 30 touchdown passes in each of the last 2 years. Now, 3 years ago, his yardage was down, but he missed 3 games. But in the last 2 years, and he was on pace for that the year he missed games, 4,400 yards in 2022, 4,575 last year. Jared Goff, that's a high-level player. Now, he has home-road splits that have been problematic. However, a lot of that can be said indoor versus outdoor games. Well, Jared Goff only has a few outdoor games this year. So this schedule is extremely favorable for Goff playing indoors. And the beauty with Goff is at his best throwing in the middle of the field. Well, you've got Amon-Ra St. Brown, obviously. Sam Laporta, who can also line up outside, but is a big factor in the middle of the field. Jahmyr Gibbs in his second year, a running back, could see middle of the field looks. Even Jameson Williams could be used creatively, and he's finally had a camp where he's been healthy and participating and seems to be jumping off the page. That said, Jared Goff could be in line for even better season than he's had recently.